Loops. We all have them. We all go through them on a daily basis. By the way, my name is Gabriel Beck. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. And if you're new here on this channel, we praise God in Jesus Christ on this channel. And we're going to be talking today about loops in relation to this. So loops are correlated to our habits. Okay? The habits that we instill in our lives end up looping back and forth. You may lose them for a little bit, like a smoking habit. You may lose the habit of smoking, but you will always pick up that habit of what you were trying to do to cover up getting that feeling of smoking, the relaxation that you got from it. Maybe now instead of smoking, you do something else. I don't know what it may be, but the habit, the cycle will repeat itself. Loops, habits. Also, when we use the word cycles. So the devil, the enemy, our adversary, is going to be using every book in the playbook to try to get under your skin. Why is he trying to get under your skin? So that as soon as he gets under your skin, you're all the more likely to fall for the bait, for the lure, for the trap that he's setting up for you. A lot of times, these traps that he's setting up for us are obvious. So he has to get us in a dumbed down state. So these traps, especially if you're reading your Bible, they're going to be obvious because they're going to be, like lusting, anger, wealth, fear. So the devil has got to get you, especially if you have a high understanding of how obvious these things are, he's got to get you into a lower vibration. Everything in this world is vibrations. So vibration, okay? Or mood, your overall energy, okay? This is going to dictate how you react to these things, okay? Your vibration that you're in. So how you can automatically raise your vibration is by looping, because remember we're talking about loops here. Loop on what Jesus teaches. So I'll say Jesus parables, okay? That's just to simplify it. It could literally be anything in the Bible or anything that is related to Jesus. But like the dinner parable, to be humble and not to exalt yourself. That way you can leave others to exalt you where it's worthy and where it makes sense. And the same reason, if you want to reverse it, you don't want to exalt yourself because then it leaves others open to do one thing, and that is to humble you. So if you keep, in fact, Jesus' parables connected to your loops, then your vibration will be high, okay? And it will help you deal with the obvious traps, okay? Obvious traps of the devil, okay? He's going to get you to loop on these obvious traps, especially the ones that he knows that you already are going to fall subject to. For me, it is like small, irrational anxiety, fears. I guess we'll call it anxiety, So I'm going to bring that up because I can relate a lot to that. For me, a lot of it, again, is anger. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this. Okay? And then as well as lust. And we will also say greed and jealousy. Because, we always want more. Not happy with our present situation. Comparing ourselves to others. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. But what can I do to attack all of these things? So these are all loops that I'm going through. So the devil is fighting me with loops that's going to affect my actions. All of these things are going to get me to do one thing: sin. Okay? Sin is just drift from free will. Okay? That's all sin is. Drifting away from your free will. So you're sinning kind of like on this hypnotic rhythm. Okay? Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill, hypnotic rhythm. It's kind of like where you get in this, you kind of forget life is real. You just get stuck in your habit loops, you know? You come home from work and then you get stuck in your habit loops, maybe your game, and now you start thinking of your lustful thought because after the game that's your loop habit you go to, or maybe you're angry because after work your habit loops bring you to drifting from free will. Because your free will, you would be like, whoa, hold on a second, let me just relax, I'm not getting angry about this situation. Whoa, hold on a second, let me not look up some pornography, some corn, and it's on the side. Let me just hold on a second. Your conscious mind, your free will mind would keep you conscious and in the moment. So we'll say free will equals being present. Okay, because if you're not present, if you're just kind of like derping out, then if you're going to derp out and just kind of like, you know, do whatever your body and your flesh leads you to, then you're going to drift away from your free will. You're going to fall into these habit loops and you're going to end up sinning. So what you can do to fight one loop with another loop is to be in the present moment. Because if you're in the present moment, then you can reconnect with the one gift that God has given you, and that is free will. What can you do to be in the present moment? You have daily, forgive the horrible handwriting, daily check-ins, okay? Daily check-ins will help you be present. So right before work, we're going to say, for my day, before work, okay? Lunch. After work, I do 9 p.m. and then before bed. And that's a lot of daily check-ins, about 4 or 5, but at those daily points you kind of ask yourself, how conscious am I right now? You know, I'm holding this pen, but am I consciously aware of how I'm holding this pen? Now especially I am more so. Now I can open up more ranges of motion, like my feet on the ground and how my toes are. Are they curled up without me knowing about it, or am I letting them fall how I want to fall? My arms and how I'm moving them. I remember I used to think this a lot when I would get really stoned back in the day and I'd get really in my head. I'd be sitting there, I'd be like, oh man, I wonder what everyone thinks about where my arms and legs are right now. Maybe I should, you know, oh, that looks weird too. And then you start shifting around and you're like, I've moved a lot in the past minute. Maybe are they looking that I'm moving around? So that kind of conscious, where it's almost like anxiety ridden that you're conscious, most people do the opposite, where they're just kind of like, and they don't even realize like what their posture is like. So like do a check-in and just realize how you're standing, how you're sitting, what your facial expression looks like, you know, what you're coming off like in your tone, everything. Just pay attention. Those daily check-ins are going to save you from the drift attacks of the devil. Our habits make or break us. A lot of times we realize this fact later than we need to realize it. Most people need to be taught this sort of information at like 5 or 6 years old, as soon as you're readily available to do it. That way you're aware of it the whole 9 yards through and you're able to consciously pick the habits, because the habits end up making what you're strong and good at, you know? But if you're just learning about this now, like I did at 18 or 17, even at 27 now, relearning it within myself. I've known about this for 9, 10 years, but having to reestablish it within my life and go, hey, wake up, you're sleeping compared to what you could be. So realize that You're sleeping. Okay? Doesn't matter how well you're doing right now compared to what you could be doing on all 9 yards. You are sleeping. So you need to wake up. Your present moment awareness needs to be higher, okay? So just start off small. Honestly, for me at first, this was really hard to do. Like even now, like most times I'm operating on like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. But when I first started this, it was like a 2 because I just wasn't used to those muscles. But eventually, you want to move up along and have it at an 8 to a 10 all the time. Because it's going to be natural that you're going to hit autopilot. It's like when driving, you're not always going to be consciously aware. You're living life, you're breathing, you're blinking, you're walking, you're talking. You're going to hit autopilot. Just like I was doing right now. When I was doing that, I wasn't thinking about it. But as you become more aware of things, now I can consciously display them a little bit better. And then you get better at being autopilot on that, and then you can reawaken another level. If you get what I'm saying. But with that being said, that's where I'm going to end the video today. But I also want to leave you on one last note. Tai Lopez always said, you know, your mentors are the people that are ahead of you in every facet, every way that you want to be, so you emulate them. And I always thought about that, because you want to find the best person to emulate, you know, even if it's just in general. And when you find a good person to emulate, it helps you in the situations where you don't feel as confident. You can emulate yourself as them. It helps you in the situations where you don't know what to do. You can ask yourself what they would do. And it helps you in just generally having a guideline to follow instead of making a guideline and failing along your own path. You can just follow. Alright, camera battery died. Last point. You want a mentor in life? Follow Jesus Christ. He's going to help you in any way, shape, or form with the loops, with the patterns that we just talked about with your life. And Jesus is going to help you find the right pattern. So comment, like, share with a friend that needs it, and I'll see you on the next one.